Hello everybody, Anna Sabramwitz here. Hope you're having a fabulous day. Thursday, woo! All right, today I'm going to talk to you about how to overcome resistance from clients and subject matter experts. And I'm going to tell you that by sharing a story from a student, one of those awesome success stories that basically, makes me want to get up in the morning because those are the things that drive me. So I talk to tons of people every week. I have, and some of them are working on projects. Some people are coming in and talking to me about where they're at with their projects, where they're at with their career. And one of the things that people really struggle with is when they're like this single person who is either trying to initiate change at their organization, and they've seen all these other awesome things that are out there, and they're thinking, how can I make that happen for me? And I get that. That's like, especially if you're a freelancer, my God, right? It's hard. It's hard out there. And what happens is that I get a lot of feedback about the fact that, hey, Anna, you know what? I want to do innovative stuff. I want to do creative stuff. I want to do storytelling. I want to introduce scenarios. I want to add context. I want to add all that juicy stuff that I know will have impact. But it is so difficult because every time I pitch these ideas, I get resistance, right? Ooh, I see some friendly faces in here, familiar faces. Hi, Evangelina. So one of the things that I want you to consider is that this resistance is the constant in our universe. It absolutely is, right? You cannot avoid it. And to enter a conversation where you're doing a collaborative, innovative project and not expect somebody to be like, oh, this is uncomfortable. Well, guess what? That's unrealistic. So what I want you to think about instead is to think that over time, you're not going to get 1,000% wins every single time. What you're going to get is incremental movement forward. That's how I want you to think about it, is long-term thinking, right? Every project makes you better, right? Big projects that make you better, but also think about the fact that every single time an idea gets approved, somebody moves forward, you're making change. And I know this is hard to kind of think about it in the process, in the midst of it, because it's your baby, it's your ideas, and you feel like you're constantly facing that resistance. This is more hard even when you're by yourself. You don't have people to back you up. It's super hard. And one of the things that I find people do is give up. They'll get that one, kick in the pants, and they're like, oh, it's too much. I'll just go back to doing what they wanted, which is what they thought they wanted, which is conversions, PowerPoint conversions, right? And content dumps. So let me tell you this. So yesterday, I watched this one of the best documentaries ever. Steve Jobs was talking about how how he was launching Apple, right? And what I want you to think about is that your interactive story, you introducing storytelling to an organization that's always done content dumps, you introducing interactivity to an organization that's always done things the other way, the way they've always done it. Now, what you're doing is you're introducing to these people a new way of thinking, a new product, a new Apple. Now, in the very beginning, I doubt that everybody was like, geez, I can't wait to get a new Apple computer. No. What did Steve have to do? He probably had to find some serious enthusiasts and get them some wins, and that trickled out, right? So I want you to think about your interactive story as not this one last hurrah, and if they don't like it, then I'm going to just give up. I want you to think about it as you're launching your own first Apple ever computer. Nobody knows about it. Computers aren't even sexy yet. Nobody knows, right? But you believe because you've seen the future. You know you can have impact. You know this is the new thing. You know this is the new thing that's actually the old thing that's actually worked really well, right? So you're coming in with these innovative ideas. They're going to hit resistance. Now, thank goodness Steve Jobs didn't give up, right? Look at where we are now. Changed everything in so many industries, not just computers, right? So many places. He didn't stop at they're not going to like it or critical feedback. He didn't stop at that. Saw it as an opportunity. Realized that the resistance is a part of this process, right? He also talked about this really cool thing about how, he had this experience about somebody putting rocks in a tumbler and then turning those raw, gross kind of plain rocks into beautiful shiny stones. And he said that the only way that something evolves and becomes awesome is through that banging of stuff, right? And that's what that is. When you face resistance, that's just the banging of stuff. You're just being tested and you grow and things get better as a result of somebody else. You can't if you put just a single stone into that tumbler, it would just remain probably the same. But now you've got all these ideas bouncing against each other, making noises, being horrible and painful sometimes, but also making some sweet gems, right? Because that's what ideas are, they evolve. And I think that's the cool part about this. So when you get feedback, when you face that resistance, be like, hey, oh yeah, that's right. All good ideas, all the really good ones face resistance initially because they're that provocative, right? Most of the things that are kind of like vanilla and not really, profound, people are going to be like, okay, yeah, sure. But if something's really pushing their boundaries, boom, like that's a win, right? So what I want you to think about is, of course, you're going to face resistance, right? Here are some strategies that would work. And this is what one of our students, Val, did. What she did is she wanted this organization not using any interactive storytelling at all. Like they're on the the side of content's king, right? That's it. And one of the things that she did is she found somebody who is a little bit open to that idea of context, and they really see the value there, and they're like, this sounds interesting. It's scary for everybody, right? So what does she do? She finds a couple of contextual situations, builds a character, pitches it comes back, and they give her feedback. They're like, yeah, this is wrong, you made this up. And she's like, that's cool, whatever. Refines it, and they're going ahead with it. It's small, tiny. But this is the thing. This is what's cool. That person is kind of like the first Apple enthusiast, right? The person who kind of gets it, sees through the cracks, is able to kind of be on the same wavelength as you. And they're like, yeah, I get it. And it's not crazy. Like, we're not talking about some epic, 16 module interactive story scenario thing. No. Small, but powerful, right? What's this person going to do? They're going to get some wins. They're going to enjoy this process. It taps into their, they're going to feel like they're delivering more value. The results are probably going to show that people contextualize all this content better. Like, it's definitely a positive augmentation in the right direction, right? This is what's cool. So guess what's going to happen? You do this enough, there will be enough of a momentum, and it'll be like kind of like seeing a person walking around with an iPhone. Now everybody wants one, right? I'm sure there's factions, right? But people want things that other people are getting success with, right? And that's what will happen at this organization. You got to be careful, of course, not everything is going to fit the same way, but before we get to the point where we're saying, no, that's too much storytelling at our organization, right? Let's get to the point where we're getting some wins and people are like, yeah, I really like that. That was really cool. I really enjoyed that. Or, I saw what Jim's doing and I want some of that. Can you help me do that? That's what you want. You want a little bit of momentum. So if you're having difficulty, find people who are on your same wavelength, who will give you a little bit of that support that you need to get that project off the ground. Now I want to tell you, this is what she wrote after this project has gone on. This is what she wrote in our community. She said, joining this group has been one of the best decisions I've ever made. It has reinvigorated me at a time when I was really thinking about moving on from this career. I have my passion back. Sometimes it takes one goddamn project, right? To just, it just gives me chills. Because that's what you want, right? You want to have, in everything that you do, your passion back, right? You want to feel, and how do you get passion? There's the time, right? There's a time that you're learning and you're pushing the envelope and it's awesome. And then there is a time sometimes in people's careers where they've hit a plateau, and it's not necessarily it's not self-induced or anything. They're just like, what's next? Or they've seen the feedback come back and they go, yeah, but I know I can, like, this isn't having the effect that I want. I want more. I want people to write me emails saying that was impactful, like that changed my life. Like, isn't that cool? I've gotten emails like that. When you get emails like that, you will remember that email for like a decade because it's so good. It's so satisfying, right? So you crave those moments. How do you get that back, right? So one of the ways is, especially if you're designing learning experiences, is by creating experiences that move people emotionally, right? And the way to do that is to combine things like storytelling with agency, which is autonomy, giving people choices. Now, you've seen probably some pretty good examples, but to do that by yourself and introduce that, you probably need some support and help and guidance. And you can definitely figure this out on your own. But if you want help with this, if you want to take what you're doing now and just push the envelope and get that passion back, that's the kind of people I'm looking for. So if you're interested in taking yourself to the next level this way, and you want to learn more about what we do and how you can get, your own kick out there in your own organization, or just in the work that you're doing every day, how can you do more of this work that you feel will make a real difference? Let's book a call. So I'll put a link underneath the video. I'd love to talk to you if this is something that really resonates with you, because this isn't about finding the next best thing. It's not about that. To craft good stuff, to get good at something, you have to put in the time, you have to put in the effort, and you have to put in the love. And you got to love this. And also you got to love the people you're working with. You have to want to deliver the best things for them and understand they're fearful, they're afraid, but you can help. And if you want to help, and this is something that you just you're chomping at the bit to do, I'd love to talk to you. So if you have any questions about this, post them in the chat, or better yet, let's talk. All right. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the Thursday, and I will probably see you here tomorrow if I don't see you on a Zoom call. All right. Take care, friends. Bye.